Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday the 25th of April 2019. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm using the Lo Scarabeo Tarot for today's reading. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of and what energy you'll be working with. I hope you've had a really good April and that you've had a good Easter period if you celebrate that holiday. I know a lot of people who have kind of gone inwards and have had quite a different experience this year than they have in other years. It's been a period of kind of introspection and possibly even isolation for a lot of people, and that kind of makes sense with the way the energies are lined up at the moment. Speaking of which, we get the Hermit. Isn't that something? We get the Hermit, the Knave of Pentacles, and the Chariot. So the Hermit is a major arcana card, and it's about shining the light of truth to gain wisdom. That wisdom will then create balance in your physical life, and you're able to open doorways which you hadn't been aware of before. So it's quite interesting. What happened to me over Easter, I was meditating, and in a dream I suddenly found myself at the center of this circle, and all around me were garden gates, and each gate I just intuitively knew represented an area of my life. And there was one garden gate or one section which was completely walled off. And I thought, I don't want this wall there. I want to see what's on the other side of it. And I intuitively knew that that was my love sector. That was the love area of my life. So I said, I want this wall gone. I want to get rid of this wall. So I just intended to be rid of the wall. I felt myself be yanked down to the underworld, and I work with all sorts of different guides, and I work with guides from different religions, and anything that represents an energy, a symbol that represents some sort of energy. Like Kali is the goddess of death and rebirth, so that to me is an easy symbol to work with. Hades is the ruler of the underworld. He's like Pluto, similar, death and rebirth. So I was yanked into the underworld. Hades was there with me. We came back up. We picked up Aphrodite on the way, and then we stood in front of the wall, the three of us, and Hades and Aphrodite used their powers and blew this wall to smithereens. And we walked into the garden, and Hades destroyed some of the jungle brambles, poison ivy thing that was overgrown and you couldn't even move forward, and he flattened all of that. And Aphrodite kind of waved her hands and created beautiful paths with flowers on the side and a beautiful open area with a fountain in the center, and a statuette of lovers intertwined and water coming out, and benches around this fountain, and water and a river running through it, and all sorts of beautiful things. And the two of them were busy creating this whole area, and I just stood there and watched. It was fabulous. I'd never worked in that way before. I'd never realized that this is something on a conscious or spiritual level that you can do to work on different areas of your life. So we sorted that out. I thanked them. They went off to where they came from, and I looked at the other sectors of my life. So each garden gate, so one was health, and that was a little bit messy, so I'll have to do a bit of work there. The other one was money, and that was okay, but it felt very kind of pressurized, and there was a lack of water in a sense. And then other things like family and you can do that for yourself. You can imagine yourself in a circle and see what areas are completely blocked off to you and where you want to go in and fix those areas. That's something that you can imagine in your mind's eye. And there's nothing more powerful than us working on a spiritual level like that. You may think, oh, you're just fantasizing and creating little trips for yourself, while you're in this state that is kind of between consciousness and slumber, or connected with your subconscious. But that kind of spiritual work is the most powerful thing you can do, and that is the most transformative thing that you can do. And yesterday was also a day of looking at yourself. We had the Hermit yesterday, and facing truths about yourself that weren't so pleasant. And you've done that, and because you've done that, you have embraced yourself, and you've now actually got access to the fuel of your inner child, your higher self, the real you. And because you've had that insight into who you are, and you're not sweeping things under the rug and repressing yourself, and you've opened that gate towards yourself, you're now able to create balance in your physical life, and you do that through spiritual work. So I really believe that me blasting that wall away in terms of my love sector is going to have some sort of influence or effect in my actual practical life, whether it's a stronger connection with my higher power, or whether it's improving my health because I love myself more and I let go of things that I usually criticize myself over, or it's discovering something that I love to do, or another person. It could be anything, but love is love is love, and that's what the universe is built on. And the fact that that is now open when I visualize it is a good sign for me. So if you're someone who none of us have all of these gates and all of these areas of our lives in perfect shape. None of us do, because the human condition is to be unhealed. But because you were brave, and because you've made the effort to look at yourself rather than go into denial and dismiss it and say, ugh, later, I'll look at that another time, you've really opened the floodgates of who you really are. And because you haven't shied away from yourself, you're now totally empowered by yourself. The Knave of Pentacles is learning how to create their reality in a way that's more balanced. That's what you're doing. You're becoming the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Your life is now going to be the way you want it to be, because you've realized that when you work spiritually, you have an effect on what goes on in your practical life. So for instance, if you don't have any money, the way to make money isn't to look in the paper and to find jobs that will pay you, even though that seems like the best way forward. The best way forward is to go within and to ask yourself, what is my life purpose? What are my vocational aptitudes? Where am I really talented? And when you discover that, and you either then work for someone else using those skills, or you start your own business, that's when you really use all of the power of your spirit, and you change the physical world around you. And finances are simply a part of that. So never work for the money. Work for something that you love and that you care about, and then money is a side effect that comes in. So do this spiritual work and you will be successful, triumphant, and victorious. The Chariot is using your will, listening to your higher self, taking care of yourself, being protected from the nasty truths that we all see about ourselves and that we have to face. But beyond good and evil, you're moving forward, and you're really able to access all of your spiritual energy. That's the main point of today, and that's the gift of today. Because you were brave and courageous yesterday, today you're being gifted with a way of changing your life here on planet Earth. and you're riding forward into your life, and you're making changes that are going to serve you and that are going to make things better. And whatever area you want to work in, if you want to create more balance in your health or in your family relationships or in travel or love or money, whatever it is, the light is there, the energy is there, and victory, triumph, and success is guaranteed because you're taking the unmanifest and spiritual and you're supercharged with it and you're turning it into the physical. It may take a bit of time to manifest. It may not instantly manifest. So if let's say you have a wall in front of your money garden, you blow up the wall, you may not immediately get a huge check that day, but over the next couple of days, you may start to get guidance in terms of, we, your guides, we, your higher self, have been telling you for years and years and years to work with, for example, wood, because you've always had this amazing connection with the material, and you've always loved creating furniture, and you've always done this, but you never believed you could make a living with it. And now listen to us, please, and follow that advice, and just trust that if you make it, they will come and they will buy your things. It's like the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. So it's a day to really have faith in yourself, to trust that your spiritual insights are helpful and good, and that they're meant to be used to make you more powerful and to improve the quality of your everyday life. In terms of numerology, we have 9 and a court card, which is 10, and then 7, which is 17. 1 and 7 is 8, and 8 in numerology is about power. So you have the power of insight, but then you have the power to mold your spiritual reality in whatever way you want it to look. You can create a garden with tennis courts in it, and statues, and lakes to swim in, and whatever you want to add in those gardens. If you want to build a beautiful office building, or a fountain that just spews coins, whatever it is you want, use your imagination. By molding the spiritual, you're molding the physical. So it's a huge day of being rewarded. Take a little bit of time to just daydream and say, this is my reality now, and so it is, and give it your stamp of approval, and realize that that's what your life is going to be like from now on. So have an amazing, glorious, life-changing day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab to order your reading, and in my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. It shows me what your vocational aptitudes are, what your life purpose is, love, relationships, travel, money. I can answer any questions you may have. So if you're interested in a personal reading, then head over to gregoryscott.com, order your reading there. Have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.